Okay, today I'm going to be installing a new radio in my truck. It's a Ford F150, and we've got a few things here. I've of course got the radio, and it comes with a variety of things. You've got a little metal sleeve for it to fit into. You've got the cowl for it, some sort of tools to remove it from the sleeve, but most importantly, the wiring harness. Now, as luck would have it, the wiring harness is listed color for color on the back of this, but if it weren't, I'm sure it would be in the user manual. But what we're going to do, I don't want to wire this into the wires of the truck. That's kind of annoying. What I like to do is I buy the wiring harness adapter. This makes your job 100 times easier, but it is a little more expensive. And since my truck has an odd sized radio, I have to buy an adapter kit for the cowl. So I'm going to be installing all of that, and the kit that I bought even came with the little tool to remove the factory radio. So let's go to the truck and see what we got to do. Here we are inside the vehicle, and let's see now, I'm trying to get my screwdriver set. First thing we got to do is we need to remove this outer cowl, and then we can put our little special tool in here to remove the radio. So let's see if we can get this cowl loose first by just getting a screwdriver under it and popping it loose. Looks like it's coming with relative ease. Let's see here. Yep, that's all easy. Now, there's only one connector over on that side, but I'm just going to leave it because the less work I got to do, the better. Anyway, let's see here. Got to get out our special tool. Okay, so now we're going to insert this tool, and I guess it goes in until it clicks. That feels like it clicked. Next tool. Push it in until it clicks. Okay, let's see here. After you've gotten your tools in there to the point where they click, I found it's easiest to push the radio to the side to kind of get it to bump out. So let's do that to either side. Oh, this is so hard to do with only one hand. There we go. Okay, so I've pressed on this side, pressed on that side, basically just wiggled the radio side to side, and the radio is now out. Now I gotta just get everything disconnected, which there should be, yes, an antenna, and then the connectors on this side. And it would appear that I've only got two connectors anyway, but then again we know I don't have an amp, so that makes sense. So let's go ahead and disconnect these. I think, yeah, you just pinch and pull, but I'm gonna have to do this with two hands. So the first thing we're going to do here, this is the connector that goes to the radio, and this is the adapter that goes to the car. Now, we want to match it up color for color to make sure these colors attach directly to these colors. So, looking across here, we have accessory is red, memory is yellow, ground is black, power antenna is blue. Now we have several on here that I'm not going to use. We have amp turn on, amp ground, illumination, dimmer, and phone mute. I don't have any of that with the new system, so we're going to not use all of those colors. So the right front is gray, it is gray. Left front is white, it is white. Right rear is violet, purple, which is violet. Left rear is green and green. So yes, basically whatever colors I'm using here are going to go straight to here. So let's go ahead and get the soldering. From experience, I know that if you connect these end to end where they're already split, you end up with a really long cable that you got to bunch up in there. So I'm going to shorten this, but I'm kind of limited by this fuse holder right here. So I'm going to cut this kind of short and move it over so that I have a shorter adapter. So let's go ahead and do that. I don't need much cable left, so I'm just going to cut these to about maybe an inch or so. Okay, now we go and give these a little bit of stripping. I like to go with about 1/8 of an inch. You really don't need more than that for doing a solder joint. It'll save on some heat shrink too. I like to pre-solder all of the wires because it makes them going together a lot easier. So we're just going to add a little bit of solder to each one of these. Okay, so let's grab a bundle of these and spread them out. Now these ones I'm also going to cut down to 1/8 of an inch, but it's much easier to do that if they're already pre-soldered. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So we're just going to clip them down to about 1/8 of an inch, just like the other ones. Don't forget to put on your heat shrink. So let's get rid of the slightly larger one there. Got plenty of heat shrink to work with here. So how long do we need to make it? Well, let's get these straightened a bit. I like to make my heat shrink cover the joint plus about 1/4 of an inch on either side. So in this case, you're looking at about 1/2 plus 1/8, which is what, 5/8. So now, how many do we need? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 total. And 12. Now it's very important to make sure all of those end up on all of these. So we're just going to do that. Just shove one down on each one of these, and it doesn't matter how far down it goes, so long as it's on there. And this is where this little third hand thing comes in pretty handy. We can actually hold on to the wire we're soldering while we're soldering. So that's what I'm going to do. Put a little bit of solder on the tip. And then it's just as easy as placing the wires next to each other and touching it. There we go, they are soldered. And with a little luck, after it cools down, okay, this heat shrink is big enough to slide over the joint, which it is. Okay, that's good. So let's just continue and we'll do all the rest of these in the same manner. Okay, I've positioned all of the heat shrink over top of all of the joints. So now it's time to heat shrink them. So you get yourself one of these hot air guns. And we're just going to heat shrink all of this. Okay, there we go. So now all I need to do is cover over this orange one. So let's use another piece of heat shrink on that. And let's see, just put it about halfway over it. So this is now ready to go in the truck. Let's talk about the mounting bracket. Anyway, this was all a kit, and it's supposed to adapt the hole that is in the dash to the new radio. As you can see, the radio doesn't need quite as much room as the old radio did because it took up this whole space. So I've got an extra pocket down here for storing things, which will come in handy. But anyway, as I'm looking at this, it's a universal kit, so you can, I guess, put many different types of radios in it. So what do we got here? You got these little wing things you could put in here, and it allows the radio to mount on the sides if you have that style of radio. But I don't believe that's what I have, because mine came with this little metal sleeve. So according to the instructions, what we are to do is put this metal sleeve in here and then bend these tabs to make sure this doesn't rattle loose. And I've looked at it, and sure enough, the little cowl piece that came with it doesn't seem to mind having that metal underneath it. If I can just put that in there. So that'll snap in tight there, but this is still a little bit loose, so I'll have to bend these tabs to get it nice and tight. But anyway, this is what I'm looking at so far. Now, I don't know specifically if the truck needs certain things or not. Like, we've got these little bumps on the back side, and we've got these flanges on the top, and some sort of clips on the side. So we'll go into the truck and see what I need specifically. But if we need a little bit more space, it came with these extra spacer things to put on the back here. So yeah, just a universal kit. As it so happens, with my little adapter kit here, these little tabs are in the way, and I know the instructions said you may need to remove them if it became the case, which it appears to be in this car. And it looks like these little snaps on the sides will actually snap into the plastic hole that's there. So I just need to cut these off and then it should snap into place. Okay, I've snapped in the thing here after cutting those off, and now it's time to connect my adapter cable that I made. So now it's time to snap in my two adapter cables here so I can get the radio installed. I've taken my cowl off, and I've connected the radio, and I've connected the adapter cable here and to the two connectors in here. Now it's time to push the radio in. And it should kind of lock in from those things on the side. That's what these little keys are for, to remove the radio. Now we can put the cowl on. So here we are. I've pressed the cowl back into position. I've got the bezel back around the radio, and the radio appears to be working fine. So let's see here. It came with a remote, but I'm not sure how to switch modes. Let's find out here. Oh, there we go. SD card. Ah, so the SD card's working. Got some Gothard Sisters playing. It's got a pretty decent sound. I'm gonna have to fine-tune it though, I figure. But yeah, this is working fine. So that's the end of this project, and I hope you found this useful, if not entertaining. So thanks for watching.